I'm at an all-time low, 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 low,
Welcome back to Like TV. So in today's video, we're kind of going to go over some things we've picked up as doing freelance videography. Just like not so much tips, just more little things to bear in mind and things that we've picked up. So yeah, we're going to kind of share those with you guys and hope you can take something from them.
I think because we obviously don't know everything, but it's more like, I don't know, our experience so far of doing freelance and stuff, and a few tips of like almost starting out rather than like, oh, we know everything, here's what you need to do.
Yeah, so that's the thing. We don't want it to come across like, right, do this now. It's more kind of little things we've kind of learned. We're just going to share. So the first thing for me has been like thinking of my gear that I get from now on as like an investment into what we're doing. I'm a lot more careful now on how I select the equipment I'm going to buy, and is it actually going to benefit me on more than one shoot, things like that. Is it going to be used widely and speed things up and stuff like that. So it's like thinking of my gear in that way rather than just seeing something I want and kind of getting it because it could be good to have. It's actually thinking, is it going to be beneficial in the future?
I think it's a bit of a blurred line between like because it's a passion but also a job as well. You know what I mean? Like that lens is obviously brilliant, you love it and stuff, and it's obviously passion that we've got, but then at the same time that gets us like money and stuff, and it's an investment buying that lens to then make better products and better, for clients and stuff to build up.
Is that sort of thing of like like you say, a bit of grey area of is this just something I want for myself, or is this kind of an investment? It's hard to kind of see it as an investment because you wouldn't be happy to spend your money on it outside of your business, So yeah, that's definitely been something I think both of us have been kind of adjusting our minds to with what we purchase and stuff like that. So
something in terms of more like technical side of things, so 60 frames per second is sort of been quite important. Obviously not for everything, but we've found like social media stuff, and for a lot of the stuff we've done for clients, being able to have the option to slow stuff down is quite important. I think we both found that in terms of stuff we've done.
100%. I think when it comes to more cinematic style things, we would sort of reduce maybe to 24, 25. But for a lot of like the client-based stuff we've been doing, it's good to have it's good to have the option to slow it down. But then if in the end result we decide we want 25, we can convert it, whereas it's much harder to do that the other way around. So doing a lot of sports stuff, it kind of comes into play a lot more. So another thing that I think kind of applies to both of us again is shooting landscape for everything. Obviously going through uni, we've always been introduced to shooting landscape for films, of course, but now moving into doing more of that social media side of things and stuff like that for Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, all those sorts of platforms. Portrait is obviously a lot more fitted to those, but we've always stuck with the landscape because if we frame in the middle side of the grid, we know that can then be cropped in to use as portrait without losing any resolution or anything like that. So yeah, it's always good to kind of bear that in mind, because then, for instance, the Harmonious people we're working with, that brand, they like us to shoot sort of a lot of stuff to bear in mind for long form projects. So it's quite good to have that option should we need to use it.
I think there has been occasions, like yesterday I've done a few things that were literally just for portrait, like stories and stuff like that weren't going to be used for long form, and we sort of discussed that with the client and stuff, and then we were like, maybe we'll just frame it up portrait. So there is the odd occasion where you might, but I think for the most part doing that sort of landscape, so there's option for both, is we've found is quite important, and gives you that option.
Yeah, something that also has been, I think we both had to kind of adapt to throughout sort of the 3 years at uni. We'd get feedback from our tutors, and then we go and make the changes ourselves, but it's always our own projects. Whereas now we're taking on a lot of stuff where we still get a creative vision, and we still kind of have creative control, but it isn't for us. So when there's feedback or there's like changes to make little tweaks to projects, we got to kind of not throw it out the window, but we have to bear in mind that we're not making it solely for us. Our input's still valid, however, what the client wants is kind of what we have to adhere to, and taking the feedback on as it's not a discredit to anything we've done. It is more just to get to the end result that they have in mind.
I think it's important not to lose that that creativity as well. Like you're saying, keep that sort of, stick to what they're saying, the client and stuff, but also make sure you're still being creative and, you know, expressing what your sort of ideas are and stuff to them. But at the end of the day, it's for them, like you're saying.
100%. We don't want to like lose sight of our own vision with it and just start to feel like, you know, being used as a tool because we know how to do that side of it. It is more like collaborating with them rather than, you know, just sort of doing something for them and giving it out. It is more like working together to create something that, you know, ultimately they're going to be happy with.
On that point about clients and stuff, one thing I've sort of got, and well probably both the same, is like being a bit harsh as well. Sounds silly, but being harsh in terms of like, you know, if you've got a client come in and their budget's a bit low and they're saying, oh, you know, do it for like, you know, a silly price, almost being a bit harsh, not dropping your price too much, still being a bit like, this is sort of what our price is at the minute, sticking to that. And obviously sometimes there's been times where we've like, you know, had to drop the price a bit because, you know, we still want to make people, you know, happy and make content for people and stuff, but it's just
Meet as many people as possible,
yeah,
expand the network as much as we can. If it means taking a pay cut, sometimes it's you know, it depends on what the job is at times. Like, for instance, we do a lot of basketball stuff. We've been kind of in contention with them now for about a year. So it's like, it's quite good that we are starting moving into doing some paid stuff with them now. Yeah, like we have taken less than what we usually charge to do that, but because there's kind of like a loyalty there between us and them, you know, we kind of do that to keep sort of the client base happy and build and meet more people and ultimately get more content out there on our side and their side. It's definitely finding that balance of like not selling ourselves short, but also not turning too many people away. Because at this stage, we want to still be building.
Yeah, exactly. So being harsh, but also, you know, being harsh, fair, realistic, all them things come into play. Yeah.
Trying to balance all that is kind of, you know, what we're still figuring out, but what we've definitely come a long way with since last year. So another massive thing for us that I think has really sped us up on sets and, you know, on shoots and that has been our cameras have custom settings. So we can have sort of 3 presets. So we kind of have, I mean, I've set mine to kind of one for slow-mo, one for 60 FPS, 4K, and then my custom setting 3 kind of has like 3 inside that. So I've done all of those for photo. And I think having all of those presets, you know, settings that you default to the most, has massively sped us up on shoots as well. I mean, I'm pretty sure ours are set the same, so we kind of,
yeah,
you know, we kind of just say, oh, 4K 60, we just go to custom 2, you know. So it's like things like that really speed us up because we're not there fiddling with settings for ages, trying to get a shot or something. It's like we're kind of good to go straight away, and I think we both found that really useful.
No, definitely, because I'm the same. Yeah, like I'll just, you know, there's been shoots where I've just flicked to whatever custom 3, and then I'm, you know, doing photos straight away, and it's that like missing that, you know, special whatever it is moment when, you know, you're like, oh, that's a good photo, and then you've got to change all your custom settings or whatever, and then you're like, oh, then you've missed it. It's just being able to flick, and then you might have to change, you know, your f-stop or whatever slightly.
But then that's quick with just the dials.
But yeah, it's literally with, you know, things like we've set that to, you know, the dials and stuff where it's like bang and bang, then shoot, and then back to video if we need. It's like,
yeah, definitely using the cameras to like best of our advantage from the doing. Something else as well that was, I think, new to both of us was coming from a very heavily film background. Photography we hadn't really touched, so when it kind of came to clients wanting photos and things like that, kind of knew how to take a photo. Obviously, like, we knew the basics, but I mean, things like using autofocus for photo is something that it just kind of fell upon us. Like, you looked into it, and then
I was going to say
we kind of just knew to do that. Now it's kind of all gone from there in terms of shutter speed settings and things like that. It's all kind of just happened in a way. It's like we kind of just figured it out because we had to, you know. Clients have been wanting photo and video.
No, 100%. I think come with like, because I was doing some football photography for Woodbridge, I think sort of learning photography for that sort of sport photography, then we got into like more looking at different bits of photography, and now it's helped so much because we can say to clients, oh, you know, we can do video, but also we can actually do a package of photography as well. And that just means things like, you know, we can up our price slightly because we can have like a package of doing both, and, you know, then clients are happy as well knowing they've got someone who's going to do photography well and then video, you know, really well as well. So yeah, really a last point for me, more about like calendar and sort of timers and stuff, because I have at the minute another little sort of part-time job, just need some stable income at the minute because we're still building up, things like that. But it's just important having, like, sounds a bit silly, but just having a calendar so you know when the shoots are, when this is, when I'm working my other part-time job and things like that, just to be a bit organised, because you don't want to, you know, have that issue of where you've double booked yourself because you've got, you know, 2 jobs and stuff like that. So that's just a bit of a simple thing, but it is important.
Keeping a log and everything. I mean, similar to Owen, I've got like a diary for the year. I'm just writing it, what shoots coming up and stuff. So it's always good to use that to keep on track. I think that's definitely, you know, helped with keeping organised. So I think my final point, I mean, a lot of these have applied to us both because we do work so closely together, but you know, we've kind of come in with our individual points. Yeah, one that's definitely been, you know, crazy for me to think about is how I'm using social media now as a tool to market myself. You know, I never really used to consider too much about what I was posting. I just upload sort of anything and everything to keep it running, kind of thing, which is good, you know, consistency and all that. But now, you know, I've scaled it back a lot with thinking about what I'm posting all the time and making sure what I'm putting out is actually gonna represent me well and both of us well. You know, it's like just making sure what we're doing is all sort of more thought about and more structured, because yeah, I didn't just want to upload sort of everything and anything and, you know, litter my page with things that aren't really too relevant. It's more trying to keep the page looking neat, formal, sort of engaging, things like that, because ultimately, you know, we've had clients from social media largely who have seen our stuff and then said, oh, could you do a similar thing for me or whatever like that. So it's making sure whatever we're putting out is kind of also, yeah, keeps the engagement and it's consistent.
I think like the different social medias comes into play a little bit as well, in terms of like TikTok is sort of like,
it's a shit posting.
Yeah,
really.
Don't know if you'd agree, but it's whereas like Instagram is a little bit more like, you know, you can almost post what you like, but you still got to be a bit careful. Like, you still got to make it look, you know, a certain way or whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's like Facebook, where it's like, you know, I think we both only sort of post client-based stuff, and
we don't even post reels on there. Really.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas Instagram, we might, you know, post a reel here and there. TikTok, we just sort of, you know, get stuff out there, you know, viral stuff potentially that we think might go viral, and then Instagram,
people in and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like, yeah, like a lot of the reels, you know, because obviously Instagram has its separate reels page and things like that, so it kind of goes on there. Facebook, it would just kind of clog up the page and kind of hide and, you know, block out the relevant stuff. So we kind of keep the Facebook pages like super
relevant
and neat. Yeah, like to the, you know, to the posts that we actually want to put on there. Whereas reels, if we make like a nice little cinematic thing out of some shots we've done, we'll kind of put that on Instagram. I mean, I kind of look at it like, you know, Instagram is the portfolio and everything, and then, you know, TikTok's kind of like the scrapbook, just random stuff.
Yeah, and then
just keep consistent on.
Facebook's even more like cut
Even
down
more
from Instagram, and even more like, you know, the very select few things we do.
And it might seem, you know, nuts that it's taken that seriously, but it is now. A lot of work comes in through those sorts of things. I mean, we've had 3-4 jobs this month have come in through Facebook, so it's like, yeah, definitely keeping that page to the things that really matter to, well, ourselves, but also what clients are going to care about has been key. So yeah, trying to sort of manage all those pages and make sure everything you're putting out is good for yourself, but also good for your reputation and, you know, your image and stuff like that is important. And it's something that we've been a lot more focused on since, you know, doing things for ourselves.
Well, hopefully, you know, something's been sort of useful, what we've said. Like you say, we don't want to say like, oh, this is what you need to do and this is the way to do it, because we're still
learning ourselves.
Exactly. So we're starting ourselves, and this is just some of the stuff we've picked up so far, and we'll probably pick up more and learn more as we go anyway. So
another video like this in 6 months, we'll say, oh, first year of freelance, and here's what we've learned, kind of thing. So
exactly.
The fact we're able to kind of recite those things shows that they've stuck with us and we use them on every sort of job. So yeah, I definitely think that's, you know, the main key things we've picked up over sort of these months, and definitely things we're going to keep doing going forward. So hopefully, you know, you've been able to sort of take something from it, and yeah, that's kind of our experiences so far.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
I'm getting bitten to death.
There's
Literally.
mosquitoes out here.
On my days. I try to keep not like whacking them off, but